Hey, family. Guess what? I'm back. This is Direct D. That's me. And I am back talking to you guys about Remember When. And we're going to take a trip down memory lane. And this is my part two segment of that. Okay? So let's get to it. Let me get my pencil. Boop. I'm ready. How about you guys? Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, 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 welcome. And if this is your second time, because this is my second part, then thank you for coming back. I hope you're ready for some good information. And let's go back, baby. We're going to go way back. Let's go way back, as they say. Okay? Let's get to it. So, y'all remember when cigarettes were $1? Not one cigarette, a pack of cigarettes. What is 10 cigarettes in a pack? Y'all remember that? My mama used to send me in the store, get her some Virginia Slim regular, baby. Virginia Slim regular, okay? There was those little cute cigarettes. They were kind of long, but they were inside of a kind of like a rose-colored pack. And she'll send me there, go and get me some Virginia Slim regular. And I go in there and they'd be $1. And then if she had some money, if she had some money, a little bit more money than what she thought she had, she'll send me in there and tell me get her a carton. Guess how much that was? If they were $1, then you know a carton was 10, right? What y'all paying a carton for? A carton almost $100, right? That's ridiculous. And I remember asking my mom, I was like, I think they had got up to like $2.50. And I said, Mom, what would you do if cigarettes got up to $5? I stop. Did not stop, baby. Them cigarettes is expensive. Like, y'all, man, I don't understand for those that still smoking it and you paying almost, I don't even know. You paying almost, I know this, you're paying almost $10 for a pack. That is ridiculous. To get possible cancer? I'm not judging you. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, just think about it that way. They got it on the thing saying it may cause cancer, may cause lung cancer. And we just paying them to just kill us dead. I just can't do it. I never liked smoking. I was a singer. I never liked smoking because I did not want nothing messing with my lungs, okay? And then it was disgusting. I remember one day my brother said, go in there and light this cigarette for me. So I would turn the stove on and I almost said I. But y'all know what I mean. Those of y'all that know what the I mean, I can't even spell it. I'm gonna say AI. I don't know. I don't know how to spell it. I'm using one of those ones that be like, let me try to figure out how we was pronouncing that and how are we spelling it. Because my brother was like, go on there on that I and go in there on that I and then light that cigarette for me. And I would go, and what I would do is I take the cigarette and I hold it on the stove like this, and then it would be just burnt all up on the sides. And he's like, what you doing to my cigarette? I'm like, I'm not putting my mouth on that. So he was like, you ain't got to do nothing but just puff on it a couple of times. And I did that, and that was the worst taste in my mouth. I was like, not doing that no more. Y'all get somebody else to do it. I ain't doing that no more. But cigarettes used to be cheap. I'm talking about cheap now. Them jokers is ridiculous. And there's still people, some people say, well, who keeping them in business? There's a lot of y'all keeping them in business. But I just ain't never had the desire to do that. And I'm not being judgmental, not trying to critique anybody because your life is your life. I don't have to live it, okay? But I'm just saying, I remember when they were $1 and now they're almost $10 and people are still buying them. I just never thought that would happen, but it is. And before my mom passed, she had stopped smoking and everything. And but it's still a lot of people out there smoking it. And I was always thinking that if they got too high, that somebody would stop and put them out of business. But no, Lord, some people are smoking 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 pack a day. How you do it? That's a habit for you, baby. I tell you. Okay. Do y'all remember when candy bars, they used to have the fundraiser? They still got the fundraiser, but they used to be the Snickers, the Reese's, the what's that? The Crackle Bar. What is that? 100 grand. Have all those. They used to be 50 cents a bar, and we used to say, anybody who want to sell candy? I'd be the first one. Me. I go get me a box. The box had I think the box had probably about 50 in there. I promise you, I probably ate about 25 of them. Then I go run to my mom. I gotta pay for this candy. Well, where they go to? I ate it. Okay, you ain't getting nothing for a month. If I got to pay $25 for some candy that you ate, I couldn't be trusted, y'all. I couldn't be trusted because I love sugar. I could not be trusted to try to sell no candy. I don't know why they kept giving it to me. Because I always be like trying to figure out a way where I can probably get a quarter from my cousin. I can probably get the other quarter from my uncle. I can probably always plotting to try to eat another candy bar. Okay. And I was just not a good person to hand candy to, but I'd be the first one to raise my hand. I'll sell some, I'll sell a box. Baby, I ate a box. I ate a box. I didn't sell a box, but I ate a box. But they used to be 50 cents. And I remember when we weren't selling them, we were buying them. Me and my friend girl we would each have a quarter. We'll come up with a quarter and we'll divide it right down the middle. And I just thought that was like I could throw that sneaker in my mouth, baby, like it ain't nothing. But I just don't care for chocolate like that no more. I know y'all probably saying in the comment, but I wonder why you ate a whole box. That's probably why, because I don't care about chocolate now. But they used to be 50 cents, baby, and we get that quarter and split it and go and run it, of all places, run in the bathroom to eat it. Did some stupid stuff, I'm telling you. Germs and everything up in there. They didn't care because we were hiding from everybody else. Because if one of our friends found out that we had the candy, they were gonna want a half of it too. No, you can't get no half of a half, baby. We ain't doing that. We spent a quarter. That was a lot to come up with. So they used to be a quarter. Now how much are they? I think I saw almost $2.50 for a candy bar. I'm in there searching for the. I said, "What a baby at? What the baby is $2.50? What about $2.19?" And the King bar used to be maybe $1, maybe 75 cents back in the day. That joker is almost $4. You know what I can do with $4 for a piece of candy that's gonna give me the runs or something? I ain't doing it. I guess that's why I don't like chocolate like that no more, because it's too rich for me anyway. I tried to bite into a sneaker and just take a big bite. Is that right? A big bite. That was too much. That was too rich for me. I couldn't do it. But yeah, they used to be 50 cents all day. 50 cents. And do y'all remember? People call them bodysuits now. Do y'all call them bodysuits or body blouses? We used to call them body blouses. Do y'all remember when they used to actually cover the butt? But I think what the problem is, the butts are too big nowadays. Where y'all getting them butts from? Some of y'all coming out the womb with them big butts. I mean, God almighty, y'all got some butts for everybody. But at one point in time, the body blouses, we called them body blouses back then, will cover the cheek, everything. Wasn't nothing hanging out, because a lot of times, and we used to call them like leotards too, that we would wear them up under our skirts and we would wear them up under our short pants and stuff like that. And they were fit. We ain't got to be digging and worrying about. Now they thongs. You can't find nothing. I mean, we got for our plus size women. We got all this meat that's gonna be hanging out on the side and stuff. We can't. I mean, some of y'all still doing it, but I don't want that. I don't want nothing cutting me in two, baby. I mean, the G strings and the thongs are already doing that. I sure don't want no body blouse that's supposed to be comfortable all up in my tail. But that's y'all. Some of y'all go ahead and do that. But y'all remember when they used to cover the? They used to cover the butt. They don't cover the butt no more. They don't. They like G-strings. Do y'all remember when little butts were in? Do y'all remember when little butts were in? Baby, let me tell you something. I used to be a dancer, okay? I weighed 148. Yeah, I know. I'm at my biggest I've ever been, okay? That's neither here nor there. But I used to be a dancer, and I was 148. And remember when the song was Brick House, Brick House, and they said 36, 24, 36. That's what I was. Okay. And looking back at my old videos, I was like, my God, I was a crackhead. Who wanted that? They thought that was so cute to be that small. And there's people still that small. I mean, I'm not trying to knock y'all. I said what I thought looking at myself. I never want to be that size again. That was just too small for me. And I'm 5'7". Okay. That was too small for me to be 36, 24, 36. I mean, a little bit of waist like that. I literally had a waist that small. And that was the size that people were trying to get. You call somebody have a big butt, they thought that was a crime, like you had offended them. So y'all remember when little butts were in? Now every butt you see, baby, is gigantic or plump or something, and there ain't nothing bad or wrong with it, but we didn't want a big butt back then. You know what I'm saying? And at that time we thought we had a big butt. So y'all remember when little butts were in? They ain't in no more. Well, they are. Some of them are. But men like big butts. And who cares really what they like, but because they just want a butt. I've seen some didn't have no butt, so they say they like butt, but I guess maybe their eyes like shallow Hal, that they see it and they don't see it. But to each his own. But I remember back then, nobody wanted to have weight on them. Nobody wanted to be what they call thick, and there was some plus size and some BBWs then, but nobody wanted a big butt, and I'm talking about the butt. So little butts used to be the thing back then. Just like light skinned men and dark skinned men, they used to call them in style, out of style. I mean, back when I was going to school, dark skinned women weren't in. Okay. I had the boobs, I had a little booty, I had hips, but I wasn't in. I wasn't in it. I was too dark for guys. So we were out of style for a minute, dark women. And they had the light skinned women. They didn't have any hips. They didn't have any booty. I'm talking about in school. They didn't have that. But they weren't looking at me, so I just had to go and sit down. But it's okay. I made it, baby. I made it. I ended up getting my butt and somebody else's butt and 3 more butts. Do y'all remember, or did y'all know that at one point in time, women wore pretty much the same kind of makeup of my women of color, my black women. And if there's somebody of the Caucasian persuasion, welcome. I'm not saying anything against you or anything like that. Welcome. You can hear about our stories, baby. You're welcome like anybody else. But at one point in time, black women wore the same type of makeup. And we used to wear like Wet n Wild. Because Wet n Wild, I don't know if they still out. Wet n Wild had a nail polish, a lipstick, a lip gloss, and makeup. And I never could really do makeup or anything like that. It was just like I'm just dog. You had to deal with whatever's on my face or whatever, because I never knew how to do it, and I really didn't care for it. I started trying to do it until I was in college, and then I ended up finding out that I was getting makeup on everything, and we didn't have that setting spray. I didn't know anything about a setting spray. It might have been back then. Mary Kay women were trying to come around, but Mary Kay was so expensive, and I'm not saying they're expensive now. I don't know, but they were kind of expensive. But we had Wet n Wild makeup, and we had Fashion Fair. Do y'all remember Fashion Fair? Fashion Fair, with all their makeup was in a pink compact thing. The mirror, the pressed powder. They had you could either get it in like that. It was a softer cream, and everything was in a pink thing. It was just the cutest thing. You would have thought Mary Kay would have had that, and I don't know if they did, but I know Fashion Fair did that. And Fashion Fair, I don't know if they're still around, but they were super popular. They were kind of expensive too. So if you got Fashion Fair, like if my sister bought Fashion Fair, then all of us wore Fashion Fair. I mean, meaning that we actually shared the same compact. Okay. And I know y'all are probably just cringing, those of you that wear makeup and you always washing your brushes and stuff like that. We ain't care about all that. We ain't had no, we got germs. We ain't know nothing about it because that stuff was expensive. One of those things was like $15 back then. $15 was a lot, baby. You wasn't finna get everybody wasn't finna get no Fashion Fair. Okay. And then they had this cute lipstick called Cherry Jubilee. And it was like a burgundy reddish looking tint, but it was called Cherry Jubilee. And if you can look at it on Google or whatever, I'm sorry I don't have any pictures up or anything like that, but you can take notes and you put it down at the bottom or whatever, and show others if you find it, you can post it down there, in the comment section. But it was expensive and we really couldn't afford it. Now back then too, my sisters used to wear the black lipstick, and I don't think it was the lipstick. I think it was they would mix their lipstick, whatever lipstick they had. They would get the smut off of the stove. I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with that, but they used to get the smut off of the stove, and they would mix it in their lipstick, and they would make their lips real black or dark. Okay, so, and I thought that was gross, but they did it. So yeah, makeup. Everybody wore the same makeup. We couldn't afford all that stuff. What about the mood lipstick? Babe, I got some right now. I got some Mood lipstick right now. That Mood lipstick, baby, come in that green container, and it depends on which one you buy. You could either have a when you put it on, it's supposed to tell whatever mood you in, it would change. Okay, so you would probably have a purple lip, or you might have a pinkish lip, or you might have a reddish lip. But that Mood lipstick, baby, will be on you all week. I don't care what you did, it gonna hang tight. And I mean, and they still sell it. I bought some, but I put it on. I was like, I'm not really good at having stuff on my lips. To me, I didn't look right with it. So I was just so glad when it wore off, because I was like, baby, like I was held hostage. I was held hostage with that lipstick, baby. But back then, honey, we were walking, baby, Mood lipstick, honey. We were gonna buy that. And it was at the dollar store, or either it was at the beauty, what they call it? It's a beauty supply store. Baby, we were going in looking for Mood lipstick, okay? Okay. What about, y'all remember the Polaroid camera? Remember the Polaroid camera? Them things was high as a Georgia pine. If you don't know what the Georgia pine is, it's a tree. My mom used to say it all the time. You're high as a Georgia pine. That can go both ways. They either be with the price or you smoking that weed. But it was high as a Georgia pine, okay? And we would go in and try to ask Santa for one, for Christmas. And I did get one. But you have to buy the film. And the film was expensive. And it was the ones where you take the picture, you push the button, and the film come out the bottom. And then you would take the film and you would shake it, and then you lay it off to the side so it can continue to develop. And I think that thing only came with probably about 8 or 10 um, 10 films so that you could take a picture. So like I said, it was super expensive. It was expensive, but you got your picture right then and there. It just developed right in front of you. And baby, you thought you was something if you got one of those. Did anybody have one? Did y'all have one? Put down in the comment if you had one. Okay. Because baby, I thought you couldn't tell me nothing, honey. You couldn't tell me nothing. What about the rubbed up dolly? Do y'all remember her? Rubbed up dolly. Yay, yay, yay. Baby, I had me one. I thought I was something until somebody stole it from my house. And I know who stole it, but I ain't gonna say nothing because she might come on here watching it. But I remember she stole it. I was coming in the house. I was getting out the car, coming from the store. She was coming out the house with it. And boy, I probably still mad with her. Y'all think I'm still mad?